Hey, welcome back. We're still talking about love, but we're talking about self-love. I was talking about forgiveness and self-love and how that forgiveness is also a law, and it's a key, it's a major key to transforming and starting again, all over again. So right now, I'm just going to couple up forgiveness just for a second with this particular conversation I'm having with you today. And I want you to understand that forgiveness is key to moving on. Not only is it key to moving on, but it's so important for you to understand that in order for you to move on, you need to forgive yourself. I know that sounds horrible. How is it that I can forgive myself? What did I do? Well, sometimes we think in our minds, such as for people who've been molested or raped or whatever, I put myself in that situation. I did this, or I must have gave off something to him, or whatever the circumstances is, there's something that I must have done to cause this situation to happen. And anytime you're dealing with molestation or rape or incest, no, that's not about what you have done. It isn't. It's not about what you have done. That's about that person's accountability and what they should have done to protect you and not do those things against you. Anytime you have an intrusion, it's not free will. No, that was their issue. And they begin to project on you or force their will upon you, especially, being a young age. When I was experiencing molestation and those things, acts against me, I was young. I wasn't fully mature. I was a young girl, started out as a young girl, and then it went on into some of my teen years, and I was just not aware of the dangers that I was in. They slowly crept in and did the things that they did. But at the same time, I began to have a guilt complex because in my mind as a child, I'm thinking, what did I do? Or as a teenager, what did I do to contribute to them doing that to me? And so I had a complex about myself of anger and guilt and just huffiness within inside of me that was so much frustration, but also it was very bitter. It was just very bitter. And I hated myself for it. And then I hated myself because of what I looked like on the outside, because of what they said. So their opinions, their words begin to become my life. And this is where you get to take your life back, where you can say, I love myself. God created something special when he put me on this earth. There's only one me. There's only one me, no other like me. We may have some things in common. We may even look similar, but deep down inside and even on the outside, you will see a difference. And you can see a difference. I may sound like my sister or my mother, or as other people say, you look just like your mother. You're like a ghost. Well, but I'm different than my mother. I have a lot of similar things about her, but yet I'm very different and unique. And so are you. You're different and you're unique. And God made you so special. And he loved you so much that he put all these wonderful things in this earth. Yeah, we can see the terrible things, but we can also see some beautiful things too. How often can you just go down the road sometimes and see bluebonnets and you didn't put them there? How about being able to walk outside and look into the sky? You didn't put them there. See the stars. You didn't put those stars there. How about just walking out and enjoying the cool breeze? Or the air, and breathing in the wonderful air. The very breath that you have, God gave it to you. So he thinks very highly of us. And yet, we've been thinking so lowly of us because we grow up with these negative seeds that says you're ugly, you're dumb, you're not going to mount up to anything, you're going to be a whore or a prostitute just like your mother, or whatever. Those kind of words. Yeah, those are the kind of words I heard. You're going to be a whore or a prostitute just like your mother. And those words would try to lay roots. And we struggle and we're fighting inside and we have this turmoil inside trying to get identity of who we are, and we're going through this jungle trying to find out, who am I? Well, you are a created being, created in the image of God. And since you are created in the image of God, according to Genesis 1, he said, let us make man in our image, according to Genesis. Read it. It's in Genesis. Start with 1, go on to 2, 3, and you can see all those wonderful things that God said, let us make man in our image. That means you too, women, although, yeah, we came from the rib of the man, but still God had to put his breath in us, honey. That's all it takes is for him to put his breath in us. And we have him as well. And God makes beautiful things, wonderful things. And what you think is ugly, what you think is too dark, the skin is too dark, God thinks is absolutely beautiful. What you think, the sound of your voice, God thinks your voice is wonderful in the atmosphere. Isn't that wonderful? So what someone else said about you, the ugly duckling, ugly, olive oil, whatever, that's their opinion. That's not his take on you. His take on you is you were wonderfully created. And you're special and you have something to offer. And so now what we have to do is we have to get out of the jungle. And how do you get out of the jungle? You get out of the jungle by learning to love yourself. Learning to say, okay, because, you hear in church, love God, and then love your neighbors as yourself. Well, you can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I ain't going to lie to you. You can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. You can sit there and fool yourself if you want to, but deep down inside, you're crying. So don't cry anymore. Just say, I got a love issue. I got to deal with me. Because we wouldn't have women, we wouldn't have half of the men issues that we have if we loved ourselves first. If we say, no, you know what, I can't go that way. Or if we say, you know what, I value my treasures, my virginity, all that, I value that enough to say, someone who deserves to have me, who can put a ring on my finger, who can say that I'm going to commit myself to you, to all those wonderful things that you need to have, and who won't beat me, who won't abuse me. When you love yourself enough, or when you have that kind of love within, you will begin to attract the right types of man in your life. Oh, we can talk about that forever. Really, we can. But that's the reason why we don't oftentimes get the right type of men in our lives. Women, is because we don't love ourselves. We haven't been loving ourselves. I'm going to talk more about that later. So I'll be back later on. But hey, listen, you've enjoyed the show, write me. You need a life coach in Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, or you need me to travel and come work with you, please write me at Ina, I-N-A, global, the number 8, at AOL.com. And let us practice loving one another. In this segment, this is what I would like for you to do. I want to give you an assignment to do in each segment, okay? This is what I want you to do. I want you to start to write down, how can I start loving myself? Okay? Write that down. How can I start loving myself? And if that means first, start telling yourself that you do love yourself, that's the beginning. I'll talk to you soon.